You ever hear about the kid who built $1 million empire using someone else's Wi-Fi? Yeah, that's not a myth. That's a ghost story in certain corners of the internet. They say he never showed his face, never used a real phone number, never posted a selfie. But somehow, this broke teenager with no degree, no family, and no job ended up running a 7-figure business from a $30 garage and a cracked iPad, all powered by a stolen signal. He was 19. Thrown out the house after a fight with his stepfather. His only backup plan? A friend with a storage room in the back of a detailing shop. No kitchen, no shower. Just 4 walls, a cot, and 1 plug. No phone service either. His phone got cut off 2 months earlier, and the only reason he was even online was because his friend had boosted a neighbor's Wi-Fi with some jailbroken router he bought on OfferUp. And from that dirty little corner of nowhere, this kid cracked the system wide open. He didn't sell clothes. He didn't flip sneakers. He didn't resell courses. He found something better. Data. Government data. It started with a traffic ticket. He searched how to fight it. That led to a legal forum. Then a court records database. Then a filing system for abandoned businesses. Then the light bulb. That's how it always starts. Not with ambition, with desperation. At first, he didn't even know what he was looking at. Some of the government sites looked like they hadn't been updated since 2003, but he kept digging. The deeper he went, the more he realized how much free, raw, exploitable information was just sitting there. Names, EINs, businesses that were dissolved but never officially closed. He found out something most people still don't know. If a company gets dissolved by the state, but the IRS never shuts down the EIN, it can be reinstated, it can be revived, and it can be used. Legally, he tried it once, found an old Florida LLC with a clean history, refiled the articles, paid the $70 fee, and used a virtual address to get everything mailed to him. 2 weeks later, he had a real, aged company, 6 years old on paper, a fresh EIN, a Dun & Bradstreet profile, and access to vendor credit. Just like that. Most people had no clue you could do that, but he did, because he read the damn PDFs nobody else clicked on. Now, this wasn't some overnight fairy tale. He failed, a lot. Some of the businesses he tried to revive were flagged, some were already claimed, others had bad credit tied to them. But the wins? The wins were worth it. He learned how to filter the bad ones out, started looking in small states first, places like Mississippi, New Hampshire, South Dakota, less competition, less scrutiny. And soon, he was flipping companies like other kids flipped shoes. He didn't sell to beginners, he sold to real estate investors, crypto bros, people who wanted age corps with clean paper trails and existing accounts. $3,000 to flip, then 5, then 7,500. By 20 years old, he had made over 100 grand, sitting in the back of a shop with no phone and no legal address, using Wi-Fi he never paid for. One night, deep into a Reddit rabbit hole, he finds a thread talking about mugshot removal. Apparently, a few states passed laws forcing websites to delete public arrest photos if someone sends a certified letter citing new privacy regulations. That was the moment it all changed. Because now he wasn't just reviving abandoned businesses. He was reviving people. See, in his neighborhood, people carried their records like baggage. Evictions, old charges, credit defaults, mugshots that followed them around for a decade. They couldn't get apartments. They couldn't pass background checks. They were stuck. So he learned the game. He studied privacy laws, learned how to file suppression letters, learned how to get personal data removed from data brokers, white pages, Spokio, and even deep people finder sites that scraped info off court databases. And here's the twist. Everything he did was 100% legal. He was just doing what rich people pay law firms $15,000 to do. But he did it for $400, sometimes $3, if they paid in cash. Word spread. He never advertised, never made a website, but his name started moving through barbershops, DMs, burner phones. He didn't even know they were calling him the Wi-Fi kid, but the streets did. And by the time he turned 22, he had 2 clients on house arrest, one woman who used to dance at a club and a crypto guy under investigation, all paying him $2 grand a month to stay invisible. But with power came paranoia. He never used his real name. Every EIN, every LLC, every Stripe account was under something else. He built layers, shells within shells. One laptop for research, one for transactions, one for backups. Never connected to the internet. The Wi-Fi? Still stolen, but now it was encrypted, routed through 3 VPNs, masked through servers in Iceland and back. He wasn't scared of the cops. He was scared of being seen. Because the minute someone realized he wasn't just a tech-savvy dropout, but a kid who could erase your past or build you a new identity on paper, the wrong people would come knocking. It started like any other job. Some guy hit him through a Proton Mail alias, said he needed a deep wipe, court records, news articles, a few databases overseas. He didn't ask questions, not directly, but he always ran his own scan before taking on a new client. This time, the name returned a headline. Federal informant escapes indictment in RICO case. That should have been the end of it, but the offer, $10,000 up front in Monero. He took the job, and for 2 weeks he was deep in it, filing takedowns using data privacy laws from Europe to force sites offline, sending letters from burner law firm names he made up on Canva. It worked, until it didn't. They started watching him, first a truck, then another, no plates, always parked. He knew. He burned the laptops, shut it all down. He tried to undo the job, but it was too late. The client vanished, left no trace. Now he was exposed. 6 months go by, he's quiet. No burner phones, no data cleanups, no LLC flips, just working nights at a storage facility now, watching cameras, stacking cash, waiting for the heat to cool off. Until one afternoon, 2 black SUVs show up. Federal. They take him in. Ask him about the core, the crypto, the cleanup work. He answers everything. He had records, filed taxes, knew every clause. They let him walk. One of the agents says, "You played the rules better than they did." That line stuck with him. He didn't hack the system. He read it, word for word. And then he disappeared. Took the first 300 grand and dumped it into auction properties, tax liens, foreclosure flips, Section 8 conversions. Then he recycled the same game, using aged core to stack business lines, getting funding, building shell companies, leasing them back to himself. It wasn't flashy, but it scaled. Within 3 years, his holdings, between real estate, aged corporations, vendor accounts, and silent partnerships, were worth just over 10 million, and not a single person knew his name. Today, he lives somewhere quiet, no social media, no followers, no funnel, just a mailbox that still gets checks from companies no one remembers. He walks trails in the morning, reads finance law at night, because once you've seen the system's guts, you can't unsee it. They told him the game was locked. He found the cracks and downloaded everything they didn't want him to know. That's the lesson.